Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking The Ordinary, but more specifically, we're going to be looking at some changes to products with reformulations and some teasing of some new product launches which might be coming down the road. I said that I'd keep you informed with any changes which are ongoing to The Ordinary after their takeover by Estee Lauder Companies. I covered this in a video which I'll leave a quick link to up there if you haven't checked it out already. On the back of that, a lot of people were quite concerned that some of the changes which might happen might increase the prices, change the formulations that we know and love, and of course impact some of the ethos behind the brand. However, I said it's always worth just pausing, taking a moment and actually taking a look at any changes that do happen and work out whether they're for the best or for the worst. Today we have some changes to product formulations that I want to talk you through, and also some new product launches which might be coming. Quite excited by a couple of them, so if you want to find out a little bit more, keep on watching. You guys know I've been a huge fan of The Ordinary since they launched. I was full on fangirl and they featured so heavily in my skincare routine. Obviously our tastes and our skin evolve over time and they become less prominent in my routine over the passing years. However, I still do reach for a lot of their products day in, day out. When they were taken over by Estee Lauder Companies, it did leave me a little bit cold, and I must admit I didn't see it as a totally positive experience. However, I always said, let's not be brash, let's not throw The Ordinary out of our skincare routine. Let's wait and see how things evolve. Changes happened a lot quicker than I thought they would, and I covered this in a previous video, which again, I'm going to leave a link to up there if you want to check out anything that you might have missed in the changes which have already happened. That involved things such as changing to websites and the way that products are presented. We've actually got a couple of reformulations which I want to break it down and talk you through today. These changes specifically concern their retinols and retinoid products. They're vitamin A derivatives, which, if I'm totally honest, I've never been a huge fan from the start. They've made small tweaks and reformulations to all of their products that come under this category. I was first made aware of these changes on the back of a couple of you guys reaching out and saying you'd noticed changes to the formulations. You then contacted Deciem and copied me into some of the responses that they issued. The response was a fairly standard response, and I'll just read it to you now so we can set the background. It said, "We made changes to the existing formulas under the retinoids category of The Ordinary. This is in standing with our commitment to innovation and further improving the formulas." In terms of what this actually means, well, I covered all the retinoids collection from The Ordinary in a separate video, which I'm going to link up there if you want to break it down and work out which one might work for you. I said in that video, actually, I didn't find any of the formulations to be that great. I thought the products didn't really sink into my skin that well. They left a greasy film, which was a bit unpleasant, and I found them really difficult to work with. I always said with these products, if you're on a budget and you love these products because they're super affordable and you cannot fault the price point and you want to make them work, then just add them to your moisturizer, mix it in the palm of your hand and apply it to the skin. This is like a great hack which will help get around some of its lack of absorption and that greasy feel it leaves on the skin. But ultimately, I never thought the formulations were that great. In terms of the new formulations, they are tweaks and minor alterations, and actually I think they're probably going to enhance the overall texture and the performance of the products. We often see reformulations as a bad thing, particularly if we like the product in the first instance. This is ever more so after the takeover by a big multinational corporation, because we all want to go, this must be a bad thing, because we're kind of all on the defensive and looking for changes and automatically assuming they're bad things because they come on the back of this takeover. Not all reformulations are bad, but there's a couple of caveats I want to call out. First of all, whilst I was never a huge fan of the retinoids formulations in the start, so really they can only improve it in my eyes, there were some people that love the texture and love the formulation, and so any tweaks to that they might find it detrimental. So you've really got to go at it on a case-by-case basis and work out whether it works for you. I would say The Ordinary have a 365-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like it, you can always reach out, contact them, and see if you can send the product back. So that is a little bit of a backup that we do get. I also would like companies, I always encourage companies to be a bit more transparent when they do reformulations. They don't have to come out with a big song and dance and shout it from the rooftops, but I think a small message somewhere, or just to make the consumer aware, will be a good thing, because then of course if we keep using the product and suddenly find it's not working for us, we'll know why that's the case, rather than just continuing to use it, assuming it's maybe another product that we've introduced, maybe think it's something in our diet or whatever. If we know there's been a reformulation, we can of course be a little bit more in tune with that and work out any changes in our skin could be attributed to that, even though the product's been in our routine for maybe years and years and years. I think they could be a little bit more open with this, but of course they don't have to, and so many brands do these tweaks and reformulations. The Biore UV Essence, which is a sunscreen I love, is a great example. They reformulate every single year, so you're never quite sure what you're buying when you buy it, and you have to check the ingredients every time you make a purchase. Again, innovation is designed to drive this forward and improve the textures, and I think this can be a good thing. I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings, so leave me a comment below. below and if you've noticed any difference. Of course, they're going to sell out of the old stock first, and then they're going to bring in some of the new products, so you might not notice a change straight away. In terms of their retinoids, if you did want to reach for one, I would go for the Gran Active Retinoid Emulsion 2%. I think of all of them, this is the best one. It sinks in the best, it's the best formulation, and it delivers the best results. So if you do want to shop retinoids at The Ordinary, that's the one that I gravitate to, and I've left a link to it below if you do want to check it out in more detail or maybe make a purchase. If you want to move away from The Ordinary and you're done with it, you want to move away and look for something new, maybe you just want to try something a bit different to incorporate in your routine, I would recommend Geek and Gorgeous. This is their A-Game Retinal Serum. This is so good. This is my go-to for over-the-counter retinols. They do two strengths. They do a medium and a high strength. I'd say that the medium is kind of on a par with the 2% emulsion, and the high strength one from The Ordinary is the equivalent of the high strength one from Geek and Gorgeous. These are so good, drugstore, cruelty-free, similar price points, and I would definitely recommend. Again, I'll leave a link to these below because they've been out of stock for so long, but they are now fully back in stock for the foreseeable future, so grab them now if you missed out before. I'll leave a link below. Now let's come on to the really exciting stuff, and that is the teasing of new product launches. I said one of the good things which could come out of the Estee Lauder Companies takeover of Deciem is that perhaps they'll launch some new products. I feel that the Ordinary product line has been a bit stale for a while. It's been 12 months since we've had a new product launch, and that was a niacinamide powder. They already had a niacinamide. The niacinamide powder, it wasn't really adding anything new to our skincare world and to our skin, and so whilst it was a new launch, let's be honest, it didn't change the world. So I think we're all ready for some new product launches. They've actually teased a few things. If you go over onto the Deciem chat room, which I'll actually leave a link to below if you want to check it out, they do tend to tease things there, and Deciem will respond. So if you filter through that and looking at some of the leaks on Reddit, I think we can expect a reformulation or possibly a relaunch of their azelaic acid. So at the moment, their azelaic acid is in a dimethicone silicone base, which means it pills, it peels. It's really not a great consistency. We can expect them to launch in the next year a new alternative to it, which is going to be much more of a serum-based formulation. This is such good news. We only ever reached for that awful azelaic acid by The Ordinary because it was the only one on the market. Now there's so many new azelaic acids, I think we don't need to gravitate towards that. I think azelaic acid is one of the most important ingredients to have in a skincare routine. It appeals to just about everyone, and I actually covered the benefits and how to use it in a recent video. So if you do want to know a little bit more about azelaic acid, I'll leave a link to that video up there. You can check it out for some more detail. But I definitely would recommend everyone consider including it in their skincare routine. And to have another drugstore and affordable option to go to can only be a good thing. My go-to at the moment is this, which is the Asaclear A15 Serum by Face Theory, and they now do a 10% version of this, which you can get globally. The 15% was hard to get because of some regulations in some countries, but they now do a 10%, which is available globally. I hope the Ordinary one is in that 10% concentration, and having a gorgeous lightweight formulation isn't that awful sticky dimethicone that pills is such a good way forward. So I think we can all really look forward to that in the coming months. They're also teasing the return of their alpha lipoic acid. You know if you were a Deciem fangirl from the start, because this was one of their original holy grail products that just miraculously disappeared. I used to love this. It was a great antioxidant, and I used to use this in my routine day in, day out. It disappeared, and we kind of never really heard anything. They never explained it, and we never saw more of it. Well, they teased that it would be making a return, and this has to be a good thing. I loved it. It wasn't a low pH, so it did a bit of exfoliation work, and it had to be used in the right way, but it was such a powerful antioxidant. I was fully on board with it, and I think for the right skin type in the right routine, it can pay so many dividends. So I'm really excited if they are bringing that back. Whilst it's not a new product launch as such, I think a lot of people won't remember it because it was discontinued really early on. So I think a lot of people will see it as a new product launch and will get super excited about it. There's also a couple of other things which just kind of been teased and which I would like to go through in very briefly in this video. There's also talk of there being a tranexamic acid. I think whilst Deciem haven't actually confirmed this, I think this is a logical next step. So some of the chatter and the leaked insider info on this, I think probably will be right based on the fact that a lot of brands are coming out with tranexamic acid. I did a recent video on why I think it's a really great ingredient for your skincare routine, so I'm going to leave a link to that up there. Definitely check that out because it's one of those unsung heroes in skincare that I think everybody can benefit from including in their own routine. I would love to see a tranexamic acid launched by The Ordinary. It'll be drugstore, it'll be affordable, it's such a great addition to their collection, and I think it probably is one that we can expect to see in the coming months. There's also been some talk for quite a while about their enzyme exfoliator. This was actually confirmed as something they were developing last year. We have seen sight nor sound of it since, alongside their hybrid sunscreen, which they've been teasing. I do hope they kind of get a move on with this, and maybe the takeover by Estee Lauder Companies will give them the boost to finally launch these on market. The teaser of the hybrid sunscreen, which was on their old website, hasn't carried forward onto their new website. A lot of people wonder whether that's because they've dropped the idea, couldn't make it work. They can absolutely make it work. They can absolutely have the formulation capability to make a hybrid sunscreen. I think maybe it's just they're not using a new website to tease future products. They're going to do them as more of a grand launch. I actually think we've got a lot to look forward to from The Ordinary. There are so many other brands out there offering same product, great price points, great ethos. I think it's about time they upped their game and actually started delivering something new and innovative again. Otherwise, the brand will just get stale and we'll move away from it. I'm already shopping around and finding some really great dupes for The Ordinary, which I absolutely love. And so I'm really glad that they're introducing new products to keep us interested in the brand. As soon as I hear anything, you can guarantee I will keep you in the loop and I will share it with you straight away. But I wanted to sit down with you today and share my thoughts and feelings on those tweaks to formulations, which, whilst they won't suit everyone, I do actually think is in the spirit of innovation and improvement, rather than trying to cheapen formulations and get more bang for their buck. I think this is in the spirit of improving things, and I actually think it's a good step forward. And if these products that are teased come off, I think these will be great additions to the market, where we're still struggling to find really good and affordable tranexamic acid and azelaic acid options. So these will be great if they do come to fruition. Of course, from a personal perspective, the alpha lipoic acid I loved, so I'd be a huge fan if that came back, and I'd be the first in line to buy it. I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings. Leave me a comment below what you think of what I've discussed in today's video and your thoughts more generally on The Ordinary. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.